Hello and welcome to Colored Rants. I am your lime-colored host, Lime Wedge Lodge. This is going to be a more serious video, and I know you've seen what the title is. If you want to get offended, just looking to get offended, bye-bye. You don't have to watch this. You know what my opinion is, or you probably have some idea based on the fact that I make video game videos for YouTube. But the issue today, if you somehow completely ignored the whole, title of the video and some of the comments, it is video games and violence, and how everyone blames video games for violent shootings. And I think this is utterly ridiculous. Because for this to have any merit in my mind, either A, violence hadn't happened until video games started, or violent video games. And anyone who knows anything about history knows that humans were violent long before video games were created. It's just one of them things to me. That's obvious. And as a southerner, yeah, I'm a southerner here. I got my accent from TV or something, I don't even know. But as a southerner who has fired a gun, I know, the feel of a gun, name of a gun, all that sort of stuff. And I also know what it's like to shoot a gun on video games. This is, a joystick. This is how you aim a gun, and this is how you fire a gun, by clicking it. Now tell me how this prepares you to pick up a gun and shoot it properly. I mean, I'll admit, it's not that hard to shoot a gun and hit something. Especially if you have a big enough target, like, you say, the broadside of a barn. That's the joke, you couldn't hit a broadside of a barn. But the idea that, this little joystick and this little button will train you in the actual use of a firearm is utterly ridiculous. I know that there's at least one guy that I've heard in an argument, someone use it as their argument that, guns train people for stuff like this. He said, well, I used this video game and I trained for my mass, murder. Well, in some cases, some people do use it as training, but by that logic, it's a better training to go to a shooting range and shoot at targets. So, exo facto, yada yada, shooting ranges are more, cause of gun violence than video games. But, you never hear that. You never hear people, oh, we should close shooting ranges and all target ranges because they make people violent shooters. There's a lot more to go on than just violent video games. If your reasoning behind saying violent video games are what causes mass murders, then it would be just the pure violence in the game that causes it. Just the fact that you are having violence, you are experiencing violence, and you are enjoying it. The same can be said about Hollywood, TV, movies, movies and TV, two separate things, Hollywood altogether, yada yada. You have to say all those are also causes. Video games may be a small cause, but I think we gotta look all the way back. Let's look back at a few of the great killings of history. Did Hitler play a mass murder game before he had ordered the genocide of Jews and other minorities? Let me think about that. Oh yeah, Hitler, he played this, kill all the Jews game. No, he didn't. He didn't. They didn't have anything like that, and he killed, he had over 3 million just Jews killed. And then, let's see, the American Revolution. We killed a lot of people when we revolted from British rule. It must have been violent video games. Oh wait, we didn't have electricity back then. Oh yeah, we were playing the old-fashioned video games. It was going out and hunting. Oh, we're hunting. That'll really train you for shooting something. Oh, there is an animal there that I need to eat to survive. That's a good way to train you for shooting a gun. So that by that logic, we should stop everybody from, hunting for food. We should just let them starve. That way they won't have the training to go out and kill a bunch of people. And yes, some of these are sarcastic satire points just to show how ridiculous I think this is. But I think it still makes a pretty intriguing point. The other issue, the only issue that I think has any at all merit to anything with video games and violence, is the fact that you actually are controlling someone who is killing someone else. But, as you know, another person I saw rant about this, because one reason why I really got my, head on ranting about this is because, as many of the gaming community knows, there's this very popular gamer, Seamus PKC. Hi Seamus, if you're watching this, I love you, marry me. Just kidding, I'm not gay, but if I was, but I digress. Yeah, ha 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 ha. You're so funny, Lime Witch. But he had one of his video games from his Grand Theft Auto 3 series used on, CNN or something like that, and to talk about video games, which I thought was hilarious because it was just something and not going into a thing. It had nothing to do with shooting or killing. It's just in some van. And now that I know what's going on and knew the whole thing, the story just seemed ridiculous to me. But I digress again. Where was I? I don't even remember where I was because I just got off on the whole Seamus thing. Hi again, Seamus. But what he said. He said, he plays violent video games, and that doesn't make him want to go out and kill someone. It doesn't make me want to go out and kill someone either. It's fiction. These games are meant to be played by mature. That's what the little MESRB rating on that means. Mature audiences, 17 plus, and by 17, everyone supposedly has the mental capacity to understand this is a real adult situation that should not be, I shouldn't do it in real life. That simple. This is a fantasy world I am in, doing fantasy things that have no implication whatsoever to any real beings, versus this is an actual gun, a device made to inflict deadly force upon something, either in protection of myself, or to kill something to eat. That's why guns were invented, mainly to kill something in self-defense or eat, I hope. At least that's my little wonderful, beautiful world. I know they were probably made for war, but, that happens. Poor people, poor humanity. But I digress again. I like the word digress. Digress. Digress! Which is funny, because this is a video about violent video games. Well, even though that was really out of place here. Because if you didn't know this video was about violent video games, then what are you doing? Are you staring at my pretty face? If you're, I feel sorry for you and your version of pretty faces. Yes, give me sympathy down there. Tell me you're not so ugly. Or you're very ugly. You're so ugly that you just make me not want to live anymore. See, and another one, don't kill yourself over me. Please don't. Please don't. That will make me very sad. Very sad. But, I'm off topic again. Digress. I know that video games are a fantasy world. And anyone old enough should be, 17, you should know real versus fake. Which leads me to another rant about people under 17 playing violent video games. Because, but I'll just leave that. I'll leave that right there, or I'll get into it. But to me, it's completely ridiculous. Violence was around a lot before this. Mass killings were around before this. I think it's more the moral decline of society than anything else to the reason of the increased mass murders. People say, oh, the moral decrease of society. What do you mean? What do you mean? Well, I mean the moral, we're not as moral as we used to be. Everybody's more liberal in their thought, liberal in what they can do, liberal, let me smoke this weed, let me do these drugs, it's my life, live it how I want to. Except LGBT, accept them. Everything, you should be able to do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. That liberal attitude. Because I think that is getting away from, I'm not saying all of those things are, don't get me wrong, don't say, well, I support this or I support that. That's not what this rant is about. Go to one of my other rant videos if I put it up about something like that. So, don't fuss at me for that in this video. If I say something about any other video, then, you can fuss at me about that. But this one is just making a point, back, 100 years ago, these things being legal would be, was out of your mind. People, that's legal, that's legal. People are fighting for that to be legal. I'm not saying those things specifically cause mass murders. I'm just saying, as a general example, and, I feel like I've dug myself into a hole right here. because I shouldn't have brought that up. Anyway, I know I digress again. I'm getting off point. Please don't get offended by that. And ooh, my screen dimmed. That's wonderful. But, because I passed the 10-minute mark, which means I should close this up. Video games do not cause violence. Violent people cause violence. You know, if I want to go out and shoot somebody, I'm going to do it if I play video games that are violent or if I don't. If I get to that snapping point, I'm going to do it either way. You know, I'm not saying I'm going to do it, actually going to do it, but I'm just saying as a person who would do that, you know, that sounds like a very good mentality. If they're going to do something like that, they're going to do it regardless of anything. They have since the beginning of time, and they will continue until, you know, the world ends or the government controls us with mind control chips or something like that, which I don't see. You know, that's possible, you know. That's another rant, you know, one of my crazy person rants. That could be another possible series right there. Lime-colored conspiracies. But yeah, if you like it, like it. You know, if you don't think video games are the cause of all this, give me a nice thumbs up. If you do think videos are, you know, you can comment. If you think I suck or I said something horribly offensive, in which case I apologize. I don't mean to offend you in this one. You know, if you really feel that horribly offended and my apologies aren't good enough, then you can give me a thumbs down. It's not going to break my heart, especially since I said sorry, and you know, sorry covers everything, because I didn't mean to offend anyone. I don't mean to offend anyone. Please, if you have something else to say down here, if you have another argument, either way, say it down here. I might revisit this, I might not. I probably won't, but I might. So, thank you for watching. I'm Limeway Sludge. This is on Colored Rants. Thank you for watching my horribly long rant.